Hello, everybody. This is Vivek Iani, and you're tuning in to episode number 10 of the Rewarding Career Series. It's a LinkedIn Live series that we've been doing for quite some time now. And today, we're going to be talking about another interesting topic, which is on navigating the future of financial planning. Now, if you're hearing some kind of a noise, right, do let me know in the comments if you're hearing any kind of noise. If you're tuning in, please do share your comments and say hi, hello in the comments. It's always very nice to hear from everyone. So today we're going to be talking about the future of financial planning. And to speak about this topic, we don't have one guest, but we have two experts, people who are really top of their game. They are in the top agencies, they are the leaders, they are the directors, they are the ones who've been there and done that, and they are the ones who are looking forward, setting the vision, and telling you where this space is going. So please do put your hands together, right, virtually, to help me welcome the directors, Victor Lim and Rachel Lim. Hello.
Hi, Vivek.
Hello, Vivek. Good evening, everyone.
Thank you so much for putting aside time from your very, very busy schedule for this sharing session, because we do understand you're so busy, and it is a privilege to have this conversation with you, because normally we don't get to hear these kind of insights. So it's really, really a privilege. So thank you so much for putting your time aside. I know most of us who've been listening may already know you through all the various sessions, but for the new audience, would you mind giving a quick introduction about yourselves? I will start with Rachel.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. So I'm actually married with uh, children, two grown-up children, and I'm actually a very fervent financial missionary, which I always call myself, and passionate builder of the next generation. So in the next decade of my life, I thought I want to commit to mentoring and coaching the many young adults for this financial industry. Yep.
Wonderful. And Victor.
I have been in the industry for more than 30 plus. I haven't reached 40 yet, 30 over years. And I've seen so much change. In fact, every year I get more and more excited because of what we see changing. The whole landscape is just getting better and better. And it's very different from the early days, in the 80s. It's very different now. I think there's tremendous opportunities here. I'm excited about what I'm doing. Still very excited after so long. It
Yeah,
gets better.
that's real passion right there, right? To be doing something for over 30 years. Today, 3 months already is so hard for people to stay in one job. So, salute to that. It is really passion that we can see from actions, not just from words, right? So, and it's great that you brought up this topic about what has changed, because the first question we're going to talk about is, how did you get introduced into financial planning? What's the story? Because everyone has a very unique story where they decide to join financial planning. So what's your story, Victor?
Oh, I have been in publishing prior to joining this business. I was in a publishing firm. In fact, prior to that, it's my first sales job, working for a publishing firm, and I was in shipping. I was a trainee boarding officer. And after 3 months, I realized that it's not going anywhere. I think there's no future. So I called my girlfriend and said, "Hey, are you going to change career?" He said, "What do you want to do?" I said, "I want to go into sales. That's the only way I think I can grow. Otherwise, it's too slow." And that's why I went into publishing. And they don't pay you anything. There's no salary. They only pay you commission. So my friend asked me, "Why you take this job and go and find some decent job?" But I felt that it's something that I want to do in sales. So after 1 month, I see all my friends who joined the business all left except me. I'm the only person standing. And in the next month, I started to make my first sale. And that was like very exciting to me. It was US $175. I get 30% commission, $50 over. I was like so excited. And that starts my sales journey. Yeah. And after that, I negotiated. After 2 years, I negotiated with a publisher in Switzerland. And I represented them in a few countries. I was based in Hong Kong, and then I want to get married. So I decided to come back to Singapore. I sold all my business interests to my business partners, and I come back to start a restaurant, F&B. I never worked so hard in my life. It's like I slept for maybe 4 hours a day, and wake up very early and start doing this for 7 months. And the restaurant just didn't make it. It's not my kind of thing. So I went back. The next day, I went back, in my bag, go look for a job, and I landed another publishing firm. Yeah, but I know that that's not what I want to do. I want to ultimately be on my own. I want to do something. Yeah, I don't want to be employed. And that's how I looking for a job. I got this job, and then my friend, who was my ex-colleague in publishing, he was in the insurance business, and he recommended me, why don't you consider this business? So I didn't understand what insurance was. During those days, we don't have internet, so I went to the library. I spent one whole day at the library trying to understand what is insurance. And at the end of the day, my conclusion is that it's a very good product, but nobody wants to talk to you, right? It's a taboo subject, right? Around the world, not only in Singapore. So nobody wants to talk to you about insurance. So that's the challenge. But I went into it because I thought there was meaning in the product. The last job that I was selling publishing space, I felt that I have this thing that I want to leave because I felt that it's like I'm cheating people. So this thing bothers me. The money was good, but it bothers me because I want to be selling something that is really useful. The reason that it's not useful, I felt like cheating, is because these advertisements, these publications don't get circulated very well, which means my clients who place this advertisement with me, I convince them to advertise in this book. These books don't get circulated really well. And as a result, when you don't get circulation, nobody will see your advertisement. So my clients who place their advertisement there, nobody's going to see it. Very few people is going to see it. So what we call, there's no value. And this thing bothers me. So when I go into the insurance business, I want to know what is the product. Is it useful? Is it really something that people need? Is it valuable? My conclusion is it is. It's just that nobody will talk to you. But that was the challenge I was ready to go into. So that's how I actually got introduced to this business. Yeah.
Wow. And the fact that you spend one day in a library, that's amazing because, yeah, I mean, before the internet, there's no other way to find out information other than talking to the people you know or going to a library to find out. And really, that's where the information is all gathered together. So times have changed so much since then. I'm interested to know if anyone in who's watching this, right? Please share it in the chats if you're already in insurance. How did you join? Please share it in the chat. And if you're thinking of joining, right, then please stay tuned because we're going to be finding out from Rachel how she also joined this industry.
Well, Victor is in publishing. For me, is I flipped the newspaper. So I was too bored in a bank. While working in a bank, every morning we get to flip the papers. So I say, hey, I saw AIA logo and say, hey, they accept part-timers. So I thought, why not explore something that's part-time, right? Where my effort is equal to in my income, which I shared earlier. So when I walked into AIA, I realized that it is actually a sales job, right? So when it was a sales job, it's selling about promises, right? We actually deliver promises. So I thought, hey, I'm such a good evangelist. So I myself is a Christian. I share to people on the street about who Lord Jesus is. And when they accept Jesus, I'm actually literally giving them a passport, an invisible passport to heaven. So I thought, hey, insurance in the same notion is actually giving a bank book, right, to the family in the event that they are no longer around. So I think wealth planning is so meaningful. At the same time, it is really something that I'm passionate about. Yep.
Wow, very nice, very nice. Now, we are going into the next question, which is, what do you think, right? I mean, since y'all have been in this industry for so many decades, right? How do you think, what has changed over the many years?
You're asking
Rachel?
me, is it?
Yeah, both of you. Rachel?
Victor, want to share first, is it?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
What has changed? From 1 to 50, do you think that is a big change? 1 and 50. Because when I first came into the business, I only sell one product. what we call a whole life non-participating policy. And that's all I sell. One product only, you know. Today, we have like 40, 50 products. So why is this major change? Because people's needs change. You know, back then Singapore was an emerging economy, and you know, there are not many things that people do. And over time, Singapore become from third world to first world, right? And that's a major change. And in a first world country, we expect that there will be a lot of very interesting stuff, products and so forth. And what we have seen is that from one or two products, it's just gone to 3, 5, 10, 20, 30, and where we are today. So because people's needs change, right? Now there's a lot of wealth in Singapore. It's not like in the 70s or 80s, right? So things have a lot of things have changed, and we have solutions like wealth solutions which we didn't have back then. So there's a very major change in the various products that we do, whether it's protection, business, life insurance, hospital, investments, retirement, business planning, many things. So it's really big change.
Wow. Yeah. Now, when you say 1 to 50 years, it's a lot of change. There's a lot of changes, based on this. When I recently met one of my friends who was in insurance, he's not from Singapore, he's actually from Greece. He asked me, when he talks to his prospects and his connections, he asked them, hey, how do you want to meet? Do you want to meet online? Do you want to meet in person, or do you want to meet in virtual reality or augmented reality, VR, AR? That means we go into a meta universe, and then we can have coffee in the meta universe. Which one would you like? Because he knows that is the future, that is where things are going, and it is really, really important for us to be able to provide that. And he says that he does that because the Gen Zs are all very tech savvy, the millennials are tech savvy, and this is an option that makes him stand out from all the other agents who don't have a meta universe meeting room to meet up. So in a meta universe, he can do a lot of different things. He can inspire them and show them, all the different charts. You can make it very visual. So he says it's a very unique option, and that's how he does it these days. And I was like, wow, very, very, very amazing that this is also becoming an option. And I don't even know, this is a present, so I don't even know what's going to happen in the future. But Rachel, what do you think? What has changed over the years?
Well, I lived through the era also of changes. All right, change is the only thing that is constant, we always say. So I'm in the era of pen and paper too, as well as pager. I still remember the paid phone. When people beat me, I need to go and pick up the paid phone, put 10 cents inside. So to the era where I carry printers to actually print out proposals, to today all the digital transformation. And like you say, so much things have changed. Even today, we walk out with an iPad, we can go global doing business and having video conferencing. So much has changed even for qualification as well. Last time, O levels can join. Today, minimally, we want a diploma degree. And MAS has actually raised their bar, all right, of wealth management planners, and to be more professional, and the image has been very much lifted. And of course, those days, where I sell $1 a day, all right, till today, the purchasing power has actually evolved to even $1,000 a month, which is really tremendous change here. Mm.
Wow, wonderful. Yeah, I mean, there's so much that has happened over the last few decades, right? There's been technological change. The economy has gone up and down like a roller coaster, right? We've had social change. Even today, the social behaviors have changed so much that, it makes us really imagine what's really next for our future, right? So, okay, we know what has happened until now. So what's next? What's the future going to look like?
The future is so amazing that every day I think about it. What we are seeing right now is like never would we have thought, if you ask me 10 years ago, 20 years ago, that we can actually do business right now via a Zoom meeting, not only in Singapore, but when Zoom is somebody in Taiwan, Malaysia, Thailand, Indonesia, and we can just cut the deal, right? We can do business that way, right? And so that's what the future is looking like. It's really really big, yeah. And we used to sell to only Singaporeans. Right now, we can really go to people can come to Singapore and buy, right? So there are so many opportunities out there that we see, and the things that we learn right now, is a lot, right? It's like you don't just simply sell insurance, but we are going very deep into the high net worth segment, where we deal with a lot of high net worth individuals, business people, professionals, and people who have a lot of wealth, wealth distribution, wealth creation, preservation. We work with business owners and do their business succession plans, right? So it's very very complex in some cases, but we like it because, yeah, and that's what people need to do. Some situations like even estate planning can be complex, right? But so we work with professionals to get this thing done, meet the clients' ever changing needs. So the industry will really continue to evolve, and there will be new things being created. Yeah, 3 years ago we launched some new product which we have never had before in the past. So it's quite a game changer. Yeah, those kind of like legacy plans, right, and
Yeah.
investment plans, coupled with partnering with the world's very best fund managers, right, global institution investors, not just best in Singapore and Batam, but best around the world. And that's how things have changed, right? It's really no joking matter. So it's really big changes, and I think that's great because Singapore has changed so much, right? There's a lot of wealth, and we see the baby boomers, people born in the 40s, 50s, 60s. A lot of them are already now starting to even transfer their wealth to the next generation, right? So some young kids are like, buying substantial stuff, products, and creating a much better future. So I think in the insurance business is where we can create a lot of wealth, right? Because people have that kind of capacity. Yeah, but if things go wrong, we want to be able to help them to retrieve whatever value they built up, whether in their business, or in their professional lives. So this wealth creation and what we do is really continue to grow the wealth of many people in Singapore, and in many other places. So that is set to change, and that is going to see a lot of wealth management.
Mm. So maybe
Oh.
from 50 to 100, I think now future. Yeah.
Who
Rachel,
knows?
what do you think?
I think the client experience definitely have shifted, just like what Victor said, single product to more complex ones, because the young gen and everyone are more educated, more sophisticated products are actually coming out, especially the young generation. They are very well traveled. I think they are so well exposed internationally that the bar has actually raised for the financial industry as well. That's why solutions also become more complex. We work with actually lawyers, tax professionals, advisors, estate planners to actually craft out more complex suite of services that are very much suited for the high net worth, for individuals, the affluent, even the ultra high net worth, because their needs actually have actually expanded and have actually shifted with like what Victor say, the wealth has been transferred and there will be a great transference of wealth. So people today I actually heard someone share with me interestingly that if insurance also part created part of a wealth creation that caused inflation. Last time when someone passes on, he was just saying that nobody has insurance, right? So everybody continued to their livelihood by living a life and carry on working. But today, when someone passes on, wealth is instantly created by the millions. So I think that is a very big phenomenal
Yeah,
change.
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. So, there are so many things that's happening right now, right? And it's natural for people to feel a little overwhelmed, like, wow, there's so many products. And do you think they are like going to start comparing, wow, there's so many products. I need to know which is the best one. Do you notice this happening amongst the people that you talk to?
This comparing thing, searching for products, if it is really true that people want to go and buy these products, right, then I think that many years ago people just go online. There's this direct purchase insurance thing where anybody can go. So our business is unique, and I think that professionals are needed because people do not wake up in the morning and say, "I want to look for which product to buy, which insurance." It's still the same, nobody want to buy unless somebody speaks to them, right? So I think that it is something that people needed guidance. It's getting more complex now because we are churning out better products. So better product cannot be so simple, right? It involves various things to make it really a fantastic product, right? So I think it's more complex in that sense. So professionals are still needed. People still need to be comfortable, need to be persuaded to do something, right? Because people rather spend money than save money, right? It's fun to spend money. Save money not so fun, but it is still a very important thing because if you don't save, by the time you reach 40s or 50, you realize that what have I done over these years? I've been working all my life and this is what I have, right?
Yeah.
So I think that because of inflation, things are getting so fast, moving so fast. Like you buy cars today, your CEO is 100 over 1,000. It's like crazy, right? So it's moving so fast. If people do not grow their money, it is just not possible to sustain their lifestyle and going forward in the future and to provide for their families, right? So people need strong returns on their money.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And
So
even the fact that we are educating people more online, which is able to reach more masses, I think that's also something that wasn't there last time. Last time you have to go one on one and educate them. Today, a simple video like this can educate millions of people as long as they know where to go and find it, right? So that's the power of the digital world as well. We are able to educate and, in a way, nudge them, influence them to really take care of themselves, make better decisions just by creating videos like this, articles, podcasts. All of these are different formats, but the intention behind all of these is to really educate the individual and educate not at a scalable way, right? Because you can scale the way you educate people by just creating this thing. This thing will never have any kind of depreciation. This digital thing will always be there, right? And it's continuously will be a way to value add to the people who need to make better financial decisions so that they can live a life that they really desire, a comfortable life, as we have heard before. Okay, so moving on to the next question, right, which is why is now the best time to join this industry? Because there's so many changes happening. So maybe you can shed some light on this topic. Why is now the best time to join this industry?
Never before has Singapore seen so much money. If you go and Google, you realize that there's about $700 billion sitting in the banking system doing nothing. Yeah, and the reason people are not doing anything is because they just don't have the confidence, they don't have the understanding. They need somebody to journey with them. They need somebody to coach and guide them, right? So they are fearful because there's just not enough understanding. Yes, you can read everything about investment, but at the end of the day, when you come to making the decision, it remains tough. People want someone who can assure them, to help them, guide them along. And I think that's where a lot of advisors will be needed going forward because there's so much work to be done. This estate planning is growing, distributing all the estate, right? And advice is very much needed today compared to, say, 20, 30, 40 years ago. It's very different already, right? So the game have changed and things have moved on, and a lot of things are developing and will continue to be developed. Yeah.
Wonderful. And Rachel, what about you?
Well, I think now is really an exciting time, and we are actually witnessing a lot of digital fintech changes, as well as transformation in our financial world today. Singapore being the Switzerland of Asia, we always say, and government want to make us very much an open financial hub with opportunities everywhere. I always believe that the world is flat now, where everyone can cross border and do many digital transactions as well. So I think we are definitely here to stay, because um, there is a space for advisory, and definitely this is the best time, because like I say, we have actually had an ecosystem where we work with bankers, professionals like lawyers, doctors, tax planners, to actually put everything comprehensively for clients. And this is the world today, and people are appreciating what we do. Yeah. Mm.
Yeah, exactly. I believe insurance is always something that we protect ourselves against risk. And as the world gets more and more complicated, the risk gets higher and higher. And that's where, this industry is just going to accelerate even further, because it's going to be even more complicated. I don't even imagine what risk there will be in a meta universe, right? We don't know what's going to happen in the future, but we do know that as the world becomes a lot more complicated, this industry is definitely going to be there to support, and as a result, this industry will also be growing pretty fast. Now, what about robo advisory? Because a lot of people have been talking about robo advisory. They think that it is a lot more easier, no need to deal with individuals, right? You don't have to be so-called persuaded. So do you think that's going to be a threat to existing consultants?
There will be a group of people who want to go digital and do their own thing. Yeah. But I think majority of the people do not fall into the category. You see, the corporate world, the workplace, right, is like a busy place. Everybody is basically busy. If you are successful, you'll probably be very, very busy, trying to do your very best in your job, in your business, right? Really, most people do not have that kind of time, that bandwidth, nor the experience, right, the expertise. So this is the reason why most people are still have not done what they should be doing, like investing, right? It's because everybody is busy. You're busy with your job and your family. That's it. By the time you come back, you're just tired, right? You want to rest. You don't want to go and do your thing and look at the market and all these things. People only do it when they are very young. Like sometimes I know some university undergrads, they got time, right? But the moment they start working, they have no more time, and then they get married, also no more time. Right? Wouldn't it be better to spend more time with your family rather than trying to do all these things? Why not let professionals handle it, right? So I think robo advisory, there will be some people who want to do that, but I think that people will still want personal advice, right? Things still need to be, advised and counseled. People, need coaching. So it's not as simple as like buying an accident policy. You can go and buy an accident policy, it's so simple, right? But when we talk about people's future, when we talk about distributing your wealth, when we talk about business succession, these are all very not so simple topics, that people can just buy online and robo advisory. We need somebody who understands various things, people, right? It's not just about the figures, not just about the money. So I think that as people, grow to be more affluent, they will want advice in several areas. And that's where, this ongoing studies, education in wealth management, we see IBF doing, we see WMI, the Wealth Management Institute, right? There's this education going on, and because it's much needed. So I think the industry, the market, the people that are out there need advice, and they value good advice, right? So robo advisory is like meeting one basic thing. Maybe you just want to invest a little bit of money, right? But we're talking about solutions that involve their whole family, their business, and it's not as easy, as some people think, get a robot to do it for you. Yeah, so I think that the space we are in wealth management requires people, requires professionals, and we work with various people, like what Rachel just said. We work with lawyers and tax accountants and so forth. So yeah, so I think this space is growing, and a lot of expertise is needed, which I do not think the robots can do. Our company will use AI to assist our people. So it's not going to compete with us. The AI we're going to use is to help us, right? So we're going to continue with all these digital tools to help all our people, and our company is investing a lot in it. Yeah. So I do not see the robo advisory thing is going to take over the world. Yeah, they will gain some business, but we're in a different race.
Wow, wonderful. Yeah, I think these things will kind of do what humans cannot do. So humans, we rise to a level of higher complication, and the robo advisors or whatever technology will take care of the simpler stuff. That's why we use technology, right? We use escalator because it kind of elevates it allows us to not take the stairs, right? It makes life easier for us. So it takes on the simple mundane task, and the more complicated one still needs the humans to come in to empathize. I think the human qualities are so important today when we are looking at something like risk, because the more complicated it is, the more riskier it is. So it's important for the humans who can understand and empathize to be in the picture, as opposed to a robot that just works based on an algorithm. Rachel, I'm interested to know what you think about the same question about robo advisory.
Okay, robo advisors are the men behind the machines, right? So definitely the millennials and the young ones will really want something more sexy, very unconventional. But look at Smartly today. If we all know that Smartly has been our first robo advisor and they are no longer around today. So I still believe in human touch, empathy, that facts and figures are there to stay, but facts and figures don't tell. Story sells, right? We want stories behind the facts and figures as well. So I think that's something machines can't do. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. Machines can only do a certain thing, even though that may change. We don't know. It is constantly changing at a very crazy pace. But yes, like you said, it is so true. Right? Robo advisors have a certain place right now, but I'm curious to know how it will grow in the future as well. Okay, so the next thing we want to talk about is I understand that you are top director, district directors, and team leaders. You have high standards on who you're looking for when they want to join your agency, right? Not everyone can join you, right? It is a very highly selective process that they have to go through. So what are some of the qualities that you're looking for in a financial consultant that's a best fit to thrive in your high performance team? Rachel, maybe we start with you.
Well, I am always constantly looking for someone very much passionate about helping others because I love helping others. I love to value add. So I'm looking for someone that love helping others, that's teachable, and most importantly, driven in life. Just like how I was mentored by the many giants in the industry, I felt that, today I want to pay it forward. That's why I'm passionate to groom um, this kind the type of qualities of consultants that are constantly also very much outward focused. Yep.
Wonderful. And what about you, Victor?
Yeah. The, I think one of the very important thing that we look for in people is that the desire to succeed. Yeah. I also want to look for people who are able to understand things. I think there's a lot of misunderstanding. There are a lot of things that people do not understand. When people understand, then I think it becomes open their eyes and they will understand. But many people's mind maybe are shut, or maybe there's a lot of hearsay. Oh, don't do this. This is not for you. It's like when I joined the business, my family say, "Why you join this business? Also got no salary," that kind of thing, right? Uh, but the understanding that I talk about is that we're looking for people who have open mind. I don't have a job. I have a whole portfolio, and I'm excited about what I do because I think this is going to be where people will be able to succeed really well with the platform that we have. Right? Most jobs you will be paid. You do this one job. I pay you. You do this job. Right? I look for things to do to create. I can create a lot of things. So at some point, I am a trainer. At some point, I'm a salesperson. At some point, I'm a counselor, right? And I'm a vision caster. I just cast a vision, and then I team lead. I lead the people, right? And sometimes my job is simply to just love people, because I have a team, and my goal is really just to focus on loving these people unconditionally. That's my principle, and it's something that I really enjoy. Yeah. Um, you know, 3 years ago we launched this elite funds, my company, and I just got a call last week that they want to invite me for a special occasion, to dinner and so forth. And I didn't even know that they want to give me an award for being, the top team in this elite funds for the last 3 years we've been doing. So we really want people who are able to learn things fast, to understand and not misunderstand, to see the potential. What they do here is not a job. Like what I said, it's a whole portfolio, right? So I can be many, many things, right? I can be a recruiter, I can be a trainer, like I said, a salesperson. So there are many, many things that I do that I'm really excited about. So the business provides that kind of portfolio. So we want people who are able to learn things. Sometimes certain things that maybe is very new to them. So we're just ever learning. I never stop learning. I'm still learning a lot of stuff, and which is really awesome because this is how we see the industry growing so fast. So we want to look for people who have the kind of desire to want to succeed in life. I already come to terms with this understanding. I've been studying a lot, and in the last session, we spoke about a lot. That's 15 years of a person's life, right? And by 15 years time, I'm not analyzing our people, those who came into the business the last 8 years, 9 years, 10 years, and I want to see in a decade, in 10 years time, how has these guys changed from 21 years old to 31 years old, and what have they built? And there are some of these people, another 1 or 2 years more, they will reach the 10 years milestone. And I think what they have accomplished, right, will be something that is so phenomenal that possibly no other job is very highly unlikely that any job can provide this. Not just about the money, the income, but about the progress that they have made, the things that they have learned, the value they have created. We talk about a strong recurrent income that they have built over time, and the system is such that as we go along, it just keep on growing. It's just this machine never stops. Yeah, and I think that's really wonderful, for us, for people to understand that, hey, we really can build a future with nobody can. If you're an employee, you can't do, because it's not up to you to decide. Somebody will decide how much to pay you, and somebody will decide when to promote you, whether you're given an opportunity, right? And here is where we create our own world. We create business. We create things that we believe is meaningful. And it is meaningful, right? And it's just like last month I delivered a check of 449,000 to somebody who had Parkinson's disease, and I think it helps the family a great deal. So there are various things that I do. We do here, like I said, it's a whole portfolio. So we want people who are able to learn all these things, and we're going to teach them, coach them, journey with them together to build this future together. If they build other people's future, they will build their future. Yeah, so we want to find people with that kind of mindset, open to learn things, because there's a lot of misunderstanding. There's a lot of myth about our industry. Of course, there are always some rotten apples among one whole basket, right? Any business will have anybody like that, but I think that people fail to see, the brighter side of things and how things are, so wonderful. Yeah, I just love the business. So we're looking for people who are really able to understand what we're doing, and they need to be capable, because they got so many things they have to learn. Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. Victor, congratulations on that invite. I think that is, you are what we call a multi-potentialite. All right. Multi-potentialite means you have potential in multiple areas of your life. It's a new term, like, millennials will
Wow. Okay.
new terms. So you're a multi-potentialite, and you talked about a very interesting topic, which is portfolio. Because today, it's not about one job; it's about having a portfolio of multiple types of jobs. And it's very interesting you raise this up because the younger generation are actually looking for portfolio careers where you're not doing the same thing day in, day out, 9 to 5, but different things. So one day you're a trainer, one day you're a recruiter, it's a different kind of roles. They're trying to explore what are the different things they can do within the organization for those who are employed, right? But that's exactly what they want. They want to be constantly engaged in different kinds of challenges. It has to be something that's exciting and challenging at the same time that makes them want to do it. So you're like the poster boy for multi-potentialites out there who really like to do different kinds of things.
Wow,
Right.
I learned something new today.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Right.
I have
So
no less than 15 jobs. This portfolio. But
yeah,
I like it. I love it. And
yeah,
this business allows me to create things that, like, we have a meeting last week, and it's like, our people work so hard. We would like to give them something, and we just came back from Amsterdam, and we're looking at next year we're going to Iceland. And one of the things we want to do is to get our people to fly business class, to provide for them because they work so hard, right? So we're going to work on these things. It's something that I really very happy about, and like to see more and more people, have that kind of experience that will, really help them to see the value of their work is much appreciated. Yeah, at least I appreciate what they do.
yeah. Absolutely wonderful, wonderful.
One
Wow.
interesting portfolio that Victor has is really he plays the guitar and he teaches us to sing as well. So that's another great portfolio that he is very musically inclined. Yeah.
I love
Very
music.
nice. Yeah. So for those of you who want to connect with Victor, you can actually get in touch with him through his Facebook page. I've shared the link below, so you can take a screenshot and then you will be able to, connect with him as well, right? So head over to his Facebook page. Now, Rachel, coming over to you, right? Tell me, what are you looking for? What are the qualities you're looking for?
Earlier I shared teachability. So for me, it's very much someone who is always open to learn, have great desire to succeed. Victor always say there's no number two duplicate Rachel. However, I always believe that there will be many mini Rachels that I can actually pay forward, mentoring them to become a better version of myself. So I love to share on mistakes that I've made and things that I've gone through so that their learning curve becomes shorter. So this is something I'm very passionate about. Yeah.
Wow, wonderful, wonderful. Okay, so those of you who want to connect with Rachel, you can do so as well by looking at her link tree. She has a lot of social media profiles. So link tree is the one that you can capture everything, and you can follow her on YouTube. You can subscribe to her on YouTube. You can follow her on Instagram, on LinkedIn, and on Facebook. So all of these are captured in this link tree. So please make sure to either screenshot or put it in your browser and connect with Rachel. The one thing that we see common in the both of them, Victor and Rachel, is they're very open to speaking to people despite being a director level, and despite being at the top of their game. They're very open to meeting new people and having conversations with them. So don't miss out on this opportunity that you're getting, right? It will not be there forever. Okay, right? So with that, we're going to come to the last question, which is on Enneagram, right? Now, Enneagram is a tool that actually helps us to differentiate ourselves from robo advisors. But Victor, can you share how exactly does this tool really help us to differentiate ourselves?
The most important thing, I think, is for all of us to be aware of ourselves. Why do we do certain things in a certain way? Why do we think in a certain way and act in a certain way? right? This has got to do with our genes, our upbringing, our experience, our past. And many people do not realize, that sometimes they possess certain traits that are maybe unhealthy, which will help them to understand when they are aware of this unhealthy trait, then they can make the necessary decision to make the change to become a better version of themselves. Yeah, they also need to be able to know why they are doing certain things and why they can do so well in certain things, right? Is to know what are the traits that they carry with them, the healthy traits. And maybe there are other areas, certain areas that is not well developed yet. For example, they maybe do not have a process when they do work. Maybe they don't have a system, right? And they need to understand that and figure out a way to overcome that so that it will not hinder them from succeeding in life. When you don't understand yourself, why you do certain things in a certain way, I think it can be sort of like hindrance, right? But if you have somebody tell you and then you're aware of it, then you can change and make the improvement in yourself. And then I think you can take yourself to another level, right? To be really well developed in several areas. And I've met people who are like very well developed in several areas, a lot. They are so well developed. But on the other hand, they also have a lot of traits that is very unhealthy. And that's where we help them to understand that, even though you have a lot of these strengths, but you do have such weaknesses. An anagram addresses that, help people to understand what is their weakness, what are their weaknesses, and they should be aware of and make the change. So for a person who wants to succeed in their careers, I think anagram will be a great help for them to understand.
Yeah.
They may not even be capable of what they are doing, but anagram will help you.
Okay. Do you want to share the statistics that you actually had about how people peak at certain careers?
Oh yeah, that is something that I've been looking at for quite a while, and the more I look at it, I begin to understand things. And this is what is quite a revelation, I think, maybe for some people who may not understand. Maybe we can look at some of these stats, right? So what happens when we look at is everybody working out there will reach a point where they will peak at their careers, and it's about 15 years, from 25 to 40. At 40 years old, a person will reach their peak, and therein starts the decline. The income start to go down, right? I think today when people look for a job, the thing they always want to look for is, what am I interested in doing? I just do what I like to do, instead of looking at ultimately what do I want to achieve. And it's hard for people to plan because somebody always makes the decision for you, right? Like I said just now, I think it's important to be able to make the decision yourself. So when I look at these statistics, people would spend this most precious 15 years, and many will be wasting these years. So I want to help people understand that, to understand themselves, that they are actually capable. I see a lot of people who are very capable in the corporate world. A lot of them reach this age at 40 plus. They want to look at this is what we call mid-career crisis. A lot of people go through it, and I think that people do not have to go through this mid-career crisis. Our people do not have this problem. We don't have a mid-career crisis. We're still growing. I'm still growing. It's like I'm still looking forward to grow, and when you reach a certain point of growth, right, the growth may be smaller, but you will still keep growing. But even that small growth is big. Yeah, because we already got that volume, you see. So I think it's important to understand that people are capable. People should really know themselves. Not everybody should be a platform entrepreneur like myself. Not everybody, but a good majority, quite a lot of people are actually capable. But nobody is telling them that why they are able to do it. And Enneagram addresses that to help people understand. If I look at somebody who has so many unhealthy traits, I really sometimes don't know where to start to help them because they are so far behind. It's very hard. It's very, very tough. But at least they are aware. If they want to make the necessary change, I think there is hope.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you for sharing that, because I think a lot of people don't think long term. They think short term. What can I do now? And then when they hit the point where they realize, hey, I'm not growing as fast as I used to grow, the graph goes like that and then goes like that, then it becomes too late. It's too late to think about it, right? So it's all about having different portfolios, different kinds of experiences, right? It's about understanding yourself, and that's why I think there's a lot of excitement, there's a lot of potential for the younger generation to explore a career like insurance, because it is not the same old thing. You're meeting different people, you're making new friends, you're growing your network. There's different new developments happening, like the AR, VR. All of these things are happening. So I think the future looks very bright for the future of financial planning, right? So I think that kind of concludes our conversation for today. Thank you so much for sharing. It's been one of our longest sessions. I think we are at 50 minutes, but I think we can actually go on and on about this topic.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it is so crucial for people to understand that you first need to know, do you have a misunderstanding, and then be open, right, to helping others as well, right? So once you clear those misunderstandings, be open to help others, I think then you can also consider, right, to connect with Victor and Rachel, and see what kind of a portfolio career you can pursue, because it's full of excitement. And who knows, maybe next year you can also be flying in business class to Iceland, right? So with that, I'm going to end today's conversation. Thank you, Victor, and thank you, Rachel, and thank you everyone who's been joining us for
Thank
this
you.
session. We'll see you guys next week.
Thank you,
Take
guys.
care.
Thank you. Thank you,
Good
Vivek.
night.